Welcome to an amazing journey to Earth, from the fiery birth 4.5 billion years ago to the comet impact that led to the primordial ocean. From the tidal forces of the moon to the organic matter born in lightning, to the release of oxygen by cyanobacteria and the evolution of organisms during the Ice Age. It's a magnificent epic about how the Earth gave birth to life. Are you ready to discover the secrets of this planet? Let's uncover this exciting story together. This is Hidden Realms. Subscribe to this channel, a mysterious realm waiting for you to discover. Let's now go into the life of the Earth, from the birth of the Earth through the present day to the end of the various events that have been experienced in it. About the end of the Earth, in fact, is already predestined. That is, the Earth will be swallowed by the Sun, so its lifespan has been determined. Now, let's go back 4.5 billion years to when the Earth was born. At this time, the surface of the Earth is so hot that there is almost no water. Then 300 million years passed, and the time reached 4.2 billion years ago, a long period of 300 million years. Numerous asteroids and comets hit the Earth, bringing with them abundant water, which led to the emergence of primitive oceans on Earth. However, the ocean at that time was dark black because it was rich in toxic substances, such as heavy metals, but over time, these heavy metals were gradually deposited on the sea floor and moved deeper into the Earth's interior with the crust. In this way, the toxicity of the ocean was gradually reduced. When these heavy metals enter the Earth's interior, the Earth's internal temperature rises abruptly, and the Earth's core becomes liquid. Why would sinking heavy metals cause the Earth's interior to heat up? The reason is that some heavy metals are radioactive or self-fissile, like uranium in atomic bombs. The end product of all nuclear fission is iron, so eventually the core of the Earth becomes an iron core. As the Earth spins, the hot metal in its core spins, creating a powerful magnetic field that attracts the atmosphere. The atmosphere blocks out most of the harmful ultraviolet and cosmic rays. In the 300 million years since Earth's birth, many conditions have interlinked, as if to pave the way for life to emerge. Although the Earth was initially inhospitable to life, the arrival of water cooled it, and toxins in the water gradually settled into the core. And inside the Earth's core, the heat turns into molten iron, which rolls and creates a magnetic field, which attracts the atmosphere, which blocks harmful radiation, all of which creates the conditions for life to emerge. However, a good environment alone is not enough to support life. The moon played a crucial role in the extremely complex chemical reactions that gave birth to life. Although we don't know exactly when the moon was born, we do know that it played a key role in the birth of life. It is speculated that the moon existed when the Earth was born. When it was close to the Earth, it could produce huge tidal forces on the Earth's oceans, promote the original ocean flow, and the ocean flow led to various substances flowing around the Earth, causing a variety of wonderful chemical reactions. However, tides cannot fully meet the demand, as most of the useful chemicals are hidden underground. Primitive Earth was rich in 235 uranium. Uranium is a rare metal that splits itself, burning like a flame until it runs out of energy. Therefore, the underground uranium mine will continue to split, produce high temperature, heat the groundwater, so that it reaches 100 degrees after the discharge. The groundwater enters the ocean to cool and then flows back into the underground again, thus forming a water cycle. The process of the water cycle will continue to bring underground substances out of the ground and back to the ground. This energy is produced on a principle similar to that of modern nuclear power plants, but the purpose is not to generate electricity, but to maintain the water cycle. In such an environment, the Earth's hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen elements are gradually formed by lightning. Tides and the distillation of underground uranium mines to form a variety of chemicals, including organic matter essential to life, such as fatty acids, ribose, amino acids, phosphoric acid, and so on. In fact, inorganic matter can also form organic matter in the process of lightning and tidal distillation, and this has been proved experimentally in 1953. To scholars at the University of Chicago, Miller and Urey, they jointly carried out an experiment to simulate the primitive Earth environment, put seawater, carbon monoxide, hydrogen and ammonia and other substances through distillation into a space through the discharge to simulate lightning, and then cool it into water back to the distillation, forming a cycle. After a week of experiments, the originally colorless and transparent liquid gradually turned red. After taking out the test, it was found to contain organic matter, such as amino acids, urea, and so on. These results show that inorganic matter can indeed generate organic matter after various lightning distillation, providing the possibility for the birth of life. We know that when fatty acids aggregate, they form an O film. Amino acids gather to form proteins, ribose, phosphoric acid, and bases, which combine to form RNA. The original RNA reacted with other chemicals to form a ribozyme that could replicate itself. When this ribozyme is coated in O, it forms the most primitive life. This most primitive form of life began about 4.1 billion years ago. Of course, life back then was all RNA, which raises the question, what is life? To be considered alive, 3 conditions must be met. The first requirement is to be able to distinguish oneself from the outside world. For example, a drop of water cannot be distinguished from other water, so it is not life. On the other hand, if an object is covered by a film of oil, it can exist alone. Secondly, there must be metabolism, which can absorb external energy or substances, convert them into their own energy, and discharge unwanted substances from the body to form a circulation mechanism. And finally, the ability to self-replicate. If all 3 of the above are present, it can be preliminarily identified as a living body. However, the definition of life is not the only one. Many scholars put forward different views, and no consensus has been reached. There's another amazing thing about life. All life on Earth is now known to be made of 20 amino acids, and we have discovered more than 300 kinds of amino acids. This is puzzling because Malari's experiment also produced non-living amino acids. Why does life exclude all other amino acids and retain only these 20? Just like English words are made up of 26 letters, but English is a man-made language. So there is nothing wrong with 26 letters. Life is naturally occurring, and there is no human framework for it. So why does it only occur within this range of 20 amino acids? There is still no answer. If only from this perspective, life is more like someone deliberately designed, from all the amino acids, 20 selected, arranged, and combined to create all life. It is really puzzling, as Earth's time continues to advance at a distance of 3.8 billion years ago. At that time, the most primitive life produced new individuals by constantly replicating themselves. However, in the process of replication, genetic mutations may cause the copied individual to produce differences, and the copied individual is different from the original, which is actually inconsistent with the characteristics of self-replication, which is also a more strange point. To prevent this from happening, single-stranded RNA, when combined with otherness, becomes DNA. DNA is much more stable than RNA, which reduces the chances of life replicating things wrong. Life, as if on purpose, felt that it could not copy so well, so it found a companion, 2 in 1. The double-stranded structure would not copy wrong. The earliest DNA life was prokaryotes, tiny and invisible to the naked eye. Whether it's RNA life or DNA life, it's very much like the first gods in our mythology. They have no sex, they reproduced themselves. As time went on and Earth time continued to reach 3.3 billion years ago, there was a special prokaryotic life that could photosynthesize and release oxygen. This is our living fossil cyanobacteria. The earliest cyanobacteria fossils found today are 2.2 billion years old, but this one is supposed to be 3.3 billion years old. The cyanobacteria were the first to continuously release oxygen on Earth, and the oxygen it released wiped out many primitive life forms. Because there was almost no oxygen in the Earth's air at that time, all life was anaerobic and hated oxygen like poison. The cyanobacteria gave off oxygen and killed them all, but survived. Why do things that love oxygen live and things that hate oxygen die will be eliminated? Because oxygen produces more energy, and more energy provides more complex bodies and functions. Oxygen-rich environments set the stage for more complex life. Okay, now it's 2.3 billion years ago, and the Earth was hit by an ice age. When the Milky Way collided with another small galaxy, it produced a lot of supernovae, and when the supernovae exploded, powerful gamma rays hit the Earth. Water vapor in the atmosphere condensed into clouds, blocking sunlight, and the Earth began to cool. Fortunately, the surface of the Earth freezes quickly, and life under the ice can continue to survive. At that time, the Earth was basically water. There was no land, and when the environment became harsh, it became difficult for some primitive life with single functions to survive. In order to survive, these organisms began to combine and become multifunctional complex organisms that could adapt to a variety of environments. That is, when the Earth was covered in ice and there was no photosynthesis. Cyanobacteria combine with organisms that can survive in the dark, and these organisms that survive in the dark have the ability to photosynthesize, which is not useful at the moment, but they can survive. When the sun comes out, they will be able to live in the dark and photosynthesize. Of course, many scholars believe that this combination of biological functions is not because they voluntarily feel that they want to continue these functions and combine with each other, but simply by eating each other. You know, once the ice age hits, there's nothing to eat. Creatures eat you on me and you eat me, and their genes merge. It's like if I eat some cyanobacteria, my genes change, and I have the ability to photosynthesize. It also means that if I eat a fish, I will have gills and can breathe underwater. None of this is possible as we know it today, but the structure of primitive life is so simple that it all fits together. So, many biologists think, what is a prerequisite for an organism to evolve? That's a disaster. When a disaster occurs, many functions begin to combine, and then evolution occurs. Okay, in the next video, I will tell you about some disasters on Earth. The magic is that every time a major disaster occurs on Earth, a new species will be born on Earth. Thanks for journeying through the hidden realms with us. Subscribe and stay tuned for more amazing revelations and fascinating stories.